earlier to help me out. I also know we do have a guest today. It will be Mr. Dewey F. Bartlett Jr. He's with the Oklahoma Energy Producers Alliance. He'll be calling in here in about 10 minutes or so. So we'll pick his brain about the world of energy throughout not just the state, but maybe a little bit about the nation and the world, or what it means for the state of Oklahoma. And so much more. We'll have all your energy news for you. Let's check out some opening prices. Trying to remember the order of operation here. WTI on this Monday morning at 61.52. That's up a couple pennies. Brent crude at 65.15. That's down 48 cents. Natural gas at 3.28. That is down 2 cents. That's your opening markets right there for the big ones. Let's jump right into some energy news. We'll talk about a few things this hour as we get to it. Lawmakers challenge PSO rate increase. Oil prices rise 7% for the week despite a Friday decline. So that's good news. Oklahoma lawmakers to re-examine state energy needs. We'll touch on that because they're doing a bunch of interim studies. We've heard about a wide variety of topics that or if you don't know the process, if you think lawmakers in the state are only at work in February through May, and that's it, then they take a vacation. No, it's a year-round job. Just ask Nick Archer. Just ask Anthony Moore, who are frequent guests on our show. They when they're done with the legislative session, they take vacations, just like me and you. We are hardworking people. We deserve a vacation here and there. But they will go on out, talk to their constituents, see what's on their mind, see what concerns them, what changes need to be made for varying topics. And a lot of, and I do know Nick Archer is heavily involved in energy committees. I don't know which ones precisely. I've done stories about those, but, he's very involved there. So is Anthony Moore. Then about this time of the year, they have the interim studies. And the interim studies, it is in the name. They study the topics, and then they try to decide should there or should not there be laws that apply to these. So there's a lot of interim studies right now happening, and there are a lot of interim studies about, energy needs and energy policy and stuff like that throughout the state. So there will be a story about that we'll look on. Manufacturing activity has risen in Oklahoma, at least in one district, in one area of Oklahoma. And Baker Hughes reports strong third quarter gains. They eyed record growth. And Frank Lucas of Cheyenne, his Weather Act gains new congressional push. And the Air Force looks to private data centers at air bases. I wonder if that means one down south from where we're at over in Altus Air Force Base. I'm sure Vance up in Enid, Tinker Air Force Base, looking at that too. So let's start at the top. Oklahoma lawmakers challenge PSO rate increase. By the way, these stories courtesy of Oklahoma Energy Today. I want to give them credit. They send out an email. It's a great email, great website, oklahomaaenergytoday.com. Encourage you to check that out. It's where Shawn gets most of his stuff, and it's a great resource for a show like this. Before the Oklahoma Supreme Court can decide on the legal challenges of 3 state legislators to rate hikes approved by the Oklahoma Corporation Commission, it first must decide on a growing number of other issues in the challenges. In recent weeks, following the January filing of a lawsuit by Representative Tom Gann and 2 other legislators that a public service company of Oklahoma rate hike should not have been allowed because Commissioner Todd Hyatt was allegedly biased in favor of the utility, 2 developments have occurred. One involved the filing of support for the commission's rate approval by the Oklahoma Industrial Energy Consumers Group. Quote, this appeal should be dismissed as moot to the extent it is based on Gann's allegations against Hyatt, argued Thomas Schroeter. He's the attorney and executive director who filed the response for the OIEC. He also made the argument that Hyatt was the subject of a, quote, thorough investigation, and based on the probe, Gann's original complaints were dismissed. In addition to the lack of any evidence in the record demonstrating that Hyatt's alleged impartiality resulted in an order that is arbitrary and unfair. Gann did not introduce any competent evidence of the claimed misconduct on the part of Hyatt and he has not cited to any such evidence in the record. Instead, Gann relies on hearsay comments and allegations. Gann's public comments are not evident. This is a continued quote from attorney Schroeder. He went on, he also maintained that Gann did not rely on any official reports or legislative actions, but relies on hearsay comments and anonymous statements. He concluded by arguing, in the absence of any evidence, that Hyatt's alleged impartiality resulted in a rate order that is arbitrary and unfair. This appeal is moot because the Ethics Commission exercised its jurisdiction and power to investigate Gann's complaints against Hyatt, and after this appeal was filed, the Ethics Commission dismissed Gann's complaints as a result of that investigation. And it goes on to talk about pushback from PSO. So this is ongoing and something we'll have to keep an eye on for you. Elsewhere, let's see here. Oil prices rise 7%. I mentioned that. That's a good news story right there. Let's see what we got. Crude oil prices finished the week's trading with a small loss, but despite the decline, prices still ended the week more than 7% higher. It proved to be the largest weekly gain since the middle of June. Analysts explained Friday's drop on skepticism, which they believe entered the market as some investors are wondering about the Trump administration's commitment to the sanctions of Russian oil. Brent crude futures settled 5 cents, or just 0.1% lower, at $65.94 a barrel, while U.S. crude futures finished at $61.50 a barrel. That's down 29 cents, or just 0.5%. It was Thursday when President Trump ordered tougher sanction on Russia's Rosneft and Lukoil, with sanctions to pressure Russian President Vladimir Putin to end the Ukraine war. The two companies account for at least 5% of global oil output, helping make Russia the second biggest crude oil producer in the oil as of 2024. Natural gas prices rebounded Friday with a slight gain, settling at 3.3 BTU after rising 0.012, which I mean barely half a percent, for a 36% increase, or a 0.36% increase. Big difference there, Jared. A majority of Oklahoma energy stocks finished down on Friday, including a more than 4% loss of Alliance Resource Partners LP. Williams Company, which lost 5% on Thursday, fell another 2% on Friday. Stardust Power advanced more than 3%, the largest percentage gain of the day for the Oklahoma energy stocks. So not bad. Rise 7% for the week, despite just a decline on Friday. Okay, I believe Dewey F. Bartlett Jr. is on the line, so we're going to take our first break. We'll come back. We'll speak with him and see if he could hold my hand through this show. Keep it right here. It's Exploring Energy on 96.5 KECO.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
Isn't it interesting the things we do with labels when it comes to oil and natural gas?
You know, saying the world is coming to an end is it's a bit of a crazy statement. And I'm sure in those 100 years with the natural gas that we have, we will find some other way to produce energy.
So you're not worried? You're an optimist.
Yeah.
Good.
So I just think people have lost perspective on how much oil and gas is crucial to how they live.
See their stories at oerb.com/micro.
It's time to make your Monday sweet. Head to SK Donuts, your local donut spot with the freshest, fluffiest donuts in town. From classic glaze to cream and jelly filled, there's a treat for everyone. And their kolaches are both affordable and delicious. SK Donuts on West 3rd Street in Oak City. Fresh, local, delicious. Don't dread Mondays. Do not worry. Be happy at SK Donuts. Open 7 days a week, 5 a.m. to 1 p.m.
So if your farmer need a hose built, you can come in, we'll build it. Oilfield customer and need us to come out and see you, we'll come out and see you and take an order or pick up a hose, build it, bring it back to you. Solves that problem. I'm Brock Kalk, and my company is American Hose and Supply. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings, oilfield or agriculture. You needed a hose like yesterday. We will stop what we're doing, and if we got to go to our Oklahoma City shop and get it, we'll do that. And I've done that for a lot of my customers. The business I've done with the Oilfield, they got to see your face. Whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever the customer prefers, that's what we're going to do. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings. In the Oilfield, sometimes you get a call for a crazy, hey, can you get this? And you go find it for them. American Hose and Supply. Come by and see us at 2111 South Main, Elk City, Oklahoma, in Camrock Building next to Fred's.
Or call 303-1123.
Solves that problem.
Brian Bacca is an investment advisor representative of and advisory services offered through Royal Fund Management, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
And I do a lot of financial education. There's a lot of people come and sit down with me just to get information, and I want to try to help anybody that wants help. If they want to help themselves, then I'm here for them. But I've had people that are so far upside down in debt and they really don't even have anything to do with financial planning. I talk to them about it and tell them these are the baby steps that we need to implement to try to help get you on the right track. But it's going to be a little painful, and it's going to take some discipline. It's going to take a while. And sometimes I never see those people again. So you don't tell them what they want to hear. They want you to wave a magic wand sometimes and fix their situation, but sometimes you can't help someone if they just don't want to be helped. Brian Bacca. Name of my company is Advanced Financial Strategies. I have built this company from scratch. I didn't buy this company from somebody else. I started one client at a time.
Give us a call at 323-6800. Look at our website, retirewithbacca.com. Begin investing and stick with it. That's how most successful people did it. You can do it too.
For over 100 years, Farm Credit of Oklahoma has proudly served our area's farmers and ranchers. So when it comes to ag lending, don't fret it. Call Farm Credit. You'll never regret it.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
Welcome back. Exploring Energy on 96.5 KECO. Jared Athas sitting in for Shawn Wilson this morning. Hoping you're having a fantastic Monday. It is cooler out there. It is a little foggy out there, so on your commute in, if you're still on your commute in, be careful. It's a little, like I said, a little foggy, a little misty, but I'll take it. This is fall weather at its best. 55 right now, 56 outside the KCO studios here in Elk City, 54 Cheyenne. So you're looking at mid-50s right now, and it won't get, it'll get maybe 65. We'll get a full look at your forecast coming up later in the show. A big thank you to one of our sponsors, ASCO Equipment at 513 West 20th Street. Great people over there. Call them up, 580-323-3422. You can find them online, ascoeq.com. And Jeremy Bridgman is the branch manager. And, if you're looking for heavy equipment for sale or rent in Oklahoma, that's where you want to go. Sale or rent. And they can help you out with your big projects, big needs. ASCO Equipment. They rent, they sell, they provide parts, service for agriculture, construction, material handling, and mining equipment at 27 locations throughout Texas, New Mexico, and, of course, right here in Oklahoma and right here in Elk City. That is ASCO Equipment. Let's go to our guest. He's a regular here on the show, has a lot of great information for us. His name, of course, is Dewey F. Bartlett Jr. He's with the Oklahoma Energy Producers Alliance. Dewey, how are you? Good morning. Maybe. Oh, dear. Can you hear me, Dewey? Stand by. There we go. How about now?
Yes, sir.
There we go. You know what happened?
What?
We had so we had some weather come in on Friday night, right? And we had a power surge. And I know this because one of our sister stations was offline entirely. And when that happens, it's hard to explain, but a button has to be pushed again to get phone calls to go through. And I quickly pushed the button because, my goodness, we cannot miss out on your valuable information. I'm glad I figured that out. Well, I hope your day is starting better than mine. It's already been a little hectic, and we're barely at the 8 o'clock. How are you, Dewey?
Well, I'm doing great. Everything's good over here. We had a lot of rain off and on over the last several days. My wife and I went to see Oklahoma play Ole Miss Saturday, and that wasn't much fun. They didn't play too well. The Cowboys had a bad day as well, and so the University of Tulsa lost in overtime, so all three of the major major football teams just didn't have a good week either. So
No,
anyway,
I'm as far as I'm concerned, it's Thunder basketball season because football has not been good this past week.
no, I couldn't agree with you more. The way Thunder look, we watched a couple of their games on television, and they look good. They really did. I mean, it's incredible what a fine team they are. I mean, they really define the aspect of team basketball. But of course, Shea does his bit and does it pretty well.
Oh,
He's fun to watch.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. They're starting 3-0, and they finally won a game without having to go to overtime on Saturday night. It was kind of relaxing to watch a game like that.
It was.
Well, Dewey, up in Tulsa, there was I know we were kind of talking off air before we came on. Governor Stitt, cleaning up the streets, it sounds like, and now that has shifted to Oklahoma City today. So bring us up to speed on this.
Well, it's kind of interesting. There's been, of course, a homeless problem. It's not just particular to Tulsa, but it's really throughout the country. Homeless is a big issue, and people camping out on city streets and city sidewalks, city property, state property. And Governor Stitt had been seeing Tulsa not doing a very good job of cleaning up. A lot of people, the homeless, are living under bridges and on state land, pitching tents. And once they leave a bunch of trash behind, and it's really a mess. And the city really wasn't doing, for whatever reason, they weren't cleaning up afterwards. So the governor decided to start what he called Operation Safe in Tulsa, where he sent the Highway Patrol, I think the Department of Transportation people, and went by and cleaned up after them and had everybody leave. People leaving under the bridge, they were told to vacate the premises, that they're on state property and they shouldn't be there. So that was, in my opinion, that was a very good example of somebody cleaning up their own property. And even though they expected somebody that left the mess to clean it up, they weren't doing it. So the governor decided, well, I'll just clean it up and maybe I'll be an example. Well, this morning, I just heard a little bit ago that he's started the same Operation Safe in Oklahoma City. So now it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it, and hopefully they'll welcome the governor's decision to spend some state money on helping clean up the city. It really is terrible when people come to a city. I used to travel a whole lot because of when I was mayor. But when I went to another city and I would see in areas where it was just real trashy and tents were there and a bunch of debris or out on the ground, you wonder, well, why are they allowing their city to get in such poor shape? Then we go to Texas, it's a whole different deal. They don't allow that to happen, and so they keep their areas, their streets, their cities, et cetera, pretty well cleaned up. So I think we ought to take a good look at how Texas handles this whole thing and try to replicate that. So the governor, I think, is doing a good job. I really like what he's doing. So hopefully the city of Oklahoma City will accept it and thank him for doing the work he's doing.
Well, I think the common misconception is it's not just an aesthetically pleasing thing to do to clean up. It is, I think, in my opinion, about human health. About it helps them, them being the homeless, kind of forcing them to get the help they need when going in there.
Exactly, and it's a very, very difficult problem. There's so many reasons why they're homeless. A significant number is because of drug problems and mental problems that they're having, and I know that a lot of those nonprofits that do good work, they're just maxed out, and so sometimes there's no place for them to go, so they move under a bridge or grab a tent someplace and or a box and camp out under a tree. And so there's that. But there's also groups of people that are displaced they don't want to be homeless, but because of a situation with losing a job or something like that, they want to be. They're looking for work, and so there are ways to give people training and to give them a good leg up on getting a job and just different things like that. So it's not a one size fits all kind of problem. It really is very difficult, and people really have to sort of look at a group and see what we can do to fix this situation and give them an opportunity to not be homeless, but to become productive citizens, take care of themselves and their families. So
yeah,
it's hard.
And finally, public safety too. I've heard of when this operation was starting in Tulsa, they were finding, you mentioned the drug problem, paraphernalia, stuff like that, and these were close to neighborhoods with kids.
Oh yeah. I mean, there were some that are right next to schools.
Yeah.
Right next to churches. I mean, where people were gathering, and they don't have toilets, so they go to the bathroom outside someplace, and sometimes they don't care if anybody's watching them. They just go, and so it's to have that kind of exposure to young children is it's not good. Not good for them. Not good for the people that are in that kind of situation. So there's all sorts of problems with that. The drug paraphernalia is a real problem. I mean, that needles and things like that are left around. People can step on them and get a terrible infection, if not worse. So it's something that people have to be aggressive in trying to handle and to take care of, and to be very open-minded in how it's taken care of.
Absolutely. We're speaking with Dewey F. Bartlett Jr. is with the Oklahoma Energy Producers Alliance. Let's talk energy, Dewey. Where do you want to start there? Energy prices? Where do we want to go?
Well, prices of crude oil have, for several years, have really not been very good for the industry. The industry, especially the companies that we represent in the Oklahoma Independent Producers Alliance, they're usually smaller companies. They have significant number of vertical wells, the old style wells, pumping jacks on them. In order for them to drill new wells or to do some significant workovers to try to find new sources of oil and gas in an existing well, it takes money, it takes capital. And when the prices are at essentially a break-even or lower level, which they are today, then companies aren't able to accumulate cash to drill with or to work over wells with. It's usually very difficult for a company to borrow money to drill a well, because drilling a well is a risky thing to do, and they're very expensive anymore. It used to be a lot cheaper to drill wells than it is today. But price of oil now is just right around $60 a barrel. It had gone down to the mid-50s, not just within the last few weeks, but it's now gone up a bit to a little bit around 60. A couple of years ago, it was up in the 70 to 80 range, and as it got close to 80, that was a pretty good price. People could accumulate money, use that to drill with, use that to have exploration efforts to continue to produce oil and find new sources of oil or natural gas. But what we've seen the last year or so, it's gone from 70 to 60, and then a few weeks ago down in the upper to mid-50s, and that's not a good place. Hurts the industry. It hurts employment. We employ thousands and thousands of people in rural Oklahoma. That's where all the oil and gas wells are, in the rural areas, and so that's where so many of the people are employed, and they lose their jobs. The bulldozer operators, the backhoe operators, the convenience stores, they're losing customers, and they're losing work. So it's not good for everybody. And at the end of the day, gross production tax, which is 7% on every barrel of oil and MCF of gas that's sold, the state of Oklahoma loses that revenue source. So it's not good for a lot of reasons. So prices are not great. Eventually they'll pick back up, but of course I've been making that statement now for a couple of years. Eventually they will pick back up. They haven't done it yet. So hopefully they will at some point in time.
Last question before we take a break, and I hope you can stick around
You bet.
for our next segment. But any bright news, like so you hope that it could come around. I mean, are you seeing anything that the president's doing that maybe we can hold on just a little bit longer and hope those prices get back to where we want them to be?
Well, the previous administration was just terrible for the oil and gas industry. They literally wanted to put us out of business because we produced fossil fuels. And they put an advantage to alternative energy sources, which, in my opinion, is very misplaced and is it's ignoring the reality of how we get energy, how we get electricity, how we get natural gas to produce all this fine energy that the country needs. So when Donald Trump became president, he immediately started supporting the oil and gas industry. He started saying, "Drill, baby, drill." And that was kind of a two-edged sword. It definitely showed his interest in having a domestic energy industry that we could exist on our own, that we didn't have to rely upon outside sources for purchasing crude oil. In other words, other countries that many of whom aren't really very friendly to us. But when he said "drill, baby, drill," that insinuates that he wants to see more wells drilled, and that contributes more oil on an already saturated market, where what we're experiencing today is that the supply of crude oil on the market is either at or in excess of the demand, the domestic demand for crude oil. So we are selling some over to the worldwide markets, but it still does have a chilling effect upon the price of crude oil to stay down. There's also things like China and India to a degree, although India now has stopped doing this, but China is buying a significant amount of oil from Russia. That's helping finance Russia's war against Ukraine. But when they're buying all this oil from Russia, they're paying a much lower price than what the world price is. So that brings prices down. The president has talked quite a bit lately about, and he's over in China, or is going to China, I guess, over the next day or two. And I assume there's going to be a conversation about China's purchase of Russian crude oil. The president's been very adamant about countries to stop buying crude oil from Russia because that's financing Russia's war against Ukraine. India agreed, and so apparently India is now stopping their purchase of crude oil from Russia. That's good news. If the Chinese were to curtail their purchase of crude oil from Russia, that'd be great news. And so that would mean that China would be buying crude oil from other sources, maybe even the United States, but paying the market price, a much higher price than what they're paying now. So those things are in the future, and they would have I think, eventually a positive effect upon pricing of crude oil and keeping it up. Natural gas is doing pretty well. We're able to sell a very significant amount of liquefied natural gas, which is made from natural gas, of course, and we sell it on the world market to other countries, and there's been huge demand for that. So that's helped keep the natural gas market at least at a relatively reasonable level, because it was dropping pretty sharply, and now at least it's doing a little bit better, and it is at a point where we've seen some increases in natural gas prices. Not a lot, but some. So hopefully the future's going to look good for us sooner than later.
Yeah, very good. All right. Well, okay, we're overdue for a break. Dewey, hang on with me because I want to pick your brains some more. And give us a tease. What do you want to talk about next?
Well, let's see. I could talk about LNG between Russia and China, or I could talk about the state capital looking ahead at some things.
Let's start local, and then we'll go global. Sound good?
All right.
All right.
Good.
We're speaking with Dewey F. Bartlett Jr. is with the Oklahoma Energy Producers Alliance. Before we take that break, I want to tell you about Fred's Steakhouse. That's your destination for fresh USDA-graded beef, ribeyes, New York strips, fillets, sirloins, hand-cut daily by an in-house butcher. And, of course, they're the home of the $4.99 chicken fried steak. So good. Served daily. This isn't like a one-day special. The $4.99 chicken fried steak is daily. Hand-battered with country gravy and house-made mashed potatoes. I always like to get an extra side of fried okra with mine. That's Fred's Steakhouse right here in Elk City, 2107 South Main. You can order on the Chow Now app. You can call them, 580-243-2100. Open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. More with our conversation with Dewey coming up after this. Keep it right here. It is Exploring Energy on 96.5 KECO.
The Exploring Energy Show.
You don't want to let your cotton set in the field day after day waiting to be gin. Now to better serve you, the cotton farmers in Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle, Lone Star Gin has processed over 540,000 bales of cotton. They've got locations in Pampa, Texas, and now in Burns Flat, Oklahoma. Lone Star Gin has the ability to process over 2,400 bales per day. All they do is gin cotton. Go to LoneStarGin.com for more information, and you can find them on Facebook.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
Craving a real steak? Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City is firing up flavor 7 days a week. The grill is always hot and the steaks are always fresh. From juicy char-grilled ribeyes, fillets, and sirloins to chicken fried steak, hearty burgers, seafood, and chicken, there's something for everyone. Don't forget the appetizers, salads, and desserts to top it off. Bring your appetite. We'll handle the rest. Dine in or order online now on the DoorDash app. It's more than just a steakhouse. It's Fred's.
So there's a company out there that has a certain color. All the farmers and stuff think their oil has to be used in those certain color of tractors, and it's just not true. So here at Camrock, we have the same specification oil as the other brand, where people think that they have to use that for a certain color on their tractors and stuff like that. But we have the same oil specifications as they do. Works just as well, does the same thing, lubes it just the same. Price comparison is it's not even a comparison. We have a better price than anybody around on that type of oil. I use it at our place. My son uses it for our colored tractors that we have, and a lot of other farmers use it too. It's the same oil, specifications are the same. It's kind of a myth where they think that it's got to be that certain type of oil for that color of tractor.
Camrock is the name of the company. It's 2111 South Main, Elk City, south of Fred's Steakhouse.
We have a better price than anybody around on that type of oil.
Hey folks, this is EJ Gredeman with ASCO Equipment out of Elk City, Oklahoma. If you need rental equipment, I got your back. From excavators to wheel loaders, telehandlers, and forklifts, we rent the brands that you know and trust. With flexible terms, responsible service, and expert support, we're here to keep your job on track. Need equipment? We're on it here at ASCO Equipment. Visit ASCOEQ.com or stop by our Elk City branch, 513 West 20th here in Elk City, Oklahoma, or you can just give me a call, 580-243-9233. Appreciate it, folks, and y'all have a blessed day.
Fine Line wants your car, and they're going to pay you for it. Top dollar. Call Steve Jones at Fine Line, 225-9111, 225-9111. Make some money.
This is the Exploring Energy Show.
Welcome back, Exploring Energy on 96.5 KECO, 840 here on your Monday morning. Monday means donuts, right? Well, every day means donuts, but it's time to make your Monday sweet. Head to SK Donuts in Elk City, your local donut spot with the freshest, fluffiest donuts in town. From classic glaze to cream and jelly filled, there's a treat for everyone. And their kolaches are both affordable and delicious. They're at 1926 West 3rd, right here in Oak City. Fresh, local, delicious. Open 7 days a week, 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. They get up and make the donuts. 580-243-9626. That's SK Donuts. Let's get back to our conversation with Dewey F. Bartlett Jr. of the Oklahoma Energy Producers Alliance. And we were talking, Dewey, before we went to break. You gave me a couple topics to jump on. And before I had you on, I was kind of talking about what lawmakers are doing right now. We got a lot of interim studies taking place at the Capitol, getting ready for the upcoming legislative session here. And, man, it's going to be here before you know it in February. What can you tell us, Dewey, if anything in that nature of the interim studies or anything else that's going on at the Capitol?
Well, I know that everybody's very interested in the governor's race. And,
sure.
Speaker McCall from Atoka, former Speaker McCall from Atoka, he's been running a lot of ads on television, and he's starting to make a real play. And apparently, some polling that's been done is showing him to having an increase in his suitability for consideration for being governor compared to Attorney General Gentner Drummond, who really had been considered to be the runaway winner of the governor's race, but now Speaker McCall is making a real play, and so some of the voters are seeing an opportunity there to think about him. So that'll make the governor's race interesting. This time of year, everybody's always very interested in what the governor's going to recommend for the new budget for the state of Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's in Governor Stitt's last term and last year or so of office. And to date, he's been pretty conservative, wanting to have a flat budget and making the Capitol legislators, committees live within their own means and not try to raise taxes, of course, and spend money that they don't have and all that sort of thing. But now they're thinking, well, maybe in his last year there might be some projects that the governor feels that even though he's leaving office, that he needs to leave a legacy of some type, and he might be a little less strict upon what he's going to recommend. Nobody knows, and so everybody's considering what the alternatives might be and what he might do or what he might not do. So that gives everybody something to talk about. So that'll certainly make things pretty interesting.
What has history shown us there? I don't want to say a lame duck governor, but a governor on it going into his last year. What has history showed us as far as requests for budget? What have our past governors done? But off of your recollection,
it seems that usually it depends. If the governor does not see him or herself as going on to another election, might want to run for the U.S. Senate or House of Representatives, something like that, they'll stick with what their MO has been, because they don't want to be in another campaign. They don't want to be have it brought out. Well, he didn't stick to his guns, and she raised taxes or raised the expenses and supported a big budget and blah blah blah. So, but if a governor is not considering another political opportunity, I think that they're more in tune with looking at what the long-term needs of the state might be, and would be focusing on something. And I think normally they would look at education as being a pretty smart way to agree to some increases in how the public education would be, whether or not it's high school or college or VOTEC, whatever it might be. So he might be looking at that, because Governor Stitt's always been very supportive of economic development, especially by employing Oklahomans. And this might be something that he sees a great opportunity to greatly increase money given to VOTAC, for example, and try to really focus on the training of welders and electricians and mechanics and all that sort. That really makes our government and our way of life hum. And that, I don't know, that's just kind of a thought.
Well, and you get that training done. It could probably create jobs or keep jobs right here in Oklahoma.
Absolutely.
And then as far as the governor is concerned, as back to my question, I guess my answer would be: is it like a part of leaving a legacy? Leaving that's what the governor got done before he got out. He pushed for this, pushed for funding for this. Education is definitely one. I think we'll get on everybody's good side if because it is a hot topic. It always is, especially nowadays with Walters stepping down, and the future of public education in the state of Oklahoma is just kind of what's going to happen next mode. But so I wonder if that's a good one. Education would be a good one for the governor.
I've always been extremely supportive and have really waved the flag that public high schools need to get back to where they had been many decades ago, to where they would teach students a trade, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
And I think today, and I did have this talk recently with the new superintendent of education.
Yeah.
But I said that I think that if that requirement was made to each and every public school district, that they had to have in their curriculum teaching welding, carpentry work, whatever it might be, that they had to have that, not just as an option, but they had to. I think we'd see Oklahoma really take off.
Absolutely.
And the parents of all those kids would just be waving the flag, hooray.
Absolutely. So, I totally agree.
That's my 2 cents.
Totally agree. Totally agree. We're running short on time, but you did mention something about was it Russia? What before the break? What do we got there?
Kind of in line. Well, the president's been trying to put tariffs on all sorts of energy, whether it's crude oil or liquefied natural gas that Russia's selling to China, as I talked about earlier. One way that the Russians have been able, and the Chinese have been able to avoid those tariffs, is that they have each of them have a port, and in that port, they've been able to provide get access to ships, container ships that will take LNG from a Russian port to the Chinese port, and but the article I read about it in Wall Street Journal said that the president is looking for ways that he then, by the tariffs, can put a stop to that process. How that's going to happen, I don't have a clue. But if he did that, it would certainly, again, solidify pricing in LNG, but also they're doing the same thing with crude oil. They can that would help the state of Oklahoma, no question.
Well, Dewey, thanks for being on with us. You always
Sure,
bring
I enjoy it.
Always bring great information from different viewpoints, and we really appreciate you being a reoccurring on our show.
Well, it's my pleasure, and I really appreciate KECO for letting me go on for a while. I get on the soapbox a little too long sometimes, so thanks for letting me talk.
Of course. Well, you take care. Enjoy this beautiful fall weather. I'm sure it's like that up in Tulsa too, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, with all the rain, it's going to really make things hopefully have a good fall season.
And maybe next time we talk, one of the football teams would actually win.
Well, let's hope so. Well, that sure perk things up around.
It certainly would.
Sure.
But go Thunder, right?
Absolutely. Always, we can really count on them now.
Dewey, you have a good day. Thanks for calling. Thanks for being a part of the show.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you very much.
That's Dewey F. Bartlett Jr. with the Oklahoma Energy Producers Alliance. Let's take our final break. We'll come back and talk with TJ. TJ is in the house, and she's not on the camera. Who's doing the camera work around here? There we go. Oh, and I guess who's doing the mic work around here? There we go. Shawn said he was out today, but he said you would be here.
I'm here.
Okay, so
I'm here.
All right, we'll talk to you coming up. wrap up the show. Before we do that, I want to talk to you about David Guest. If you have minerals and royalties and you need help, then David Allen Guest. He's a certified minerals manager. He's your man. He's been managing minerals and royalties for himself and others for nearly 40 years. That's a big thing. Managing royalty and mineral rights is a complicated process that's ever-changing, so he can manage that for you. Make sure you're getting every dime. David has the experience to help you navigate through every aspect of it. That's David L. Guest. Call him at 405-341-8698. Let's take that final break. We'll come back with a full look at your forecast, some relook at your markets, and wrap the show up. Keep it right here. It is Exploring Energy on 96.5 KECO.
This is the Exploring Energy Show.
We are restocked on our mixture, hard surface cleaners, linen sprays, VAT9, black pepper, salt and sage, cashmere, all those scents are the top scents for this line. You can just switch them out anytime you're ready for a new scent. We have all kinds of stationery stuff right now. We've got planners. We've also got a little pad that's for weekly meal planning. But a lot of people still love to use a traditional way of keeping their recipes. And so we've got books and recipe cards for those who still like to keep it traditional. You can keep it in one little area. And sometimes, you have things that you get from your grandma or your aunt or things, they're little recipe cards that they pass down to you. Well, this is perfect for that you can stick into these books as well. And we've also got these really cute little pens and dividers that mark your pages and stuff. Grandview Pharmacy and Gifts, 1220 West 3rd Street in Elk City, in between Subway and Sherwin-Williams.
In the land of Ford, October is really Trucktober, a time to challenge ourselves and help truck buyers. The stock is in, and our place is covered with over 100 pickup trucks. We even had to ship some over to Truck Island. They're all waiting for loving families to give them a good home. To meet the challenge of selling 100 trucks by the end of October, we're going to take big trades and make big deals. The Trucktober Challenge is on at Barbara Dyson Ford in Elk City, online at barbadysonford.net. Truck lovers, come and get them.
I've had several clients when we're sitting in a closing room, we're signing the final pieces of paper, and we slide the keys across the desk and tell them, congratulations, you're a homeowner, and they're just elated. They're thrilled. They finally realize that their dream came true. They were actually able to own a home, and the children are in there with them. And they're like, I get to go get in my new room. It's for the whole family to enjoy. They're very excited to own a home. I'm Joe Shepard, and I help make the difference at First National Bank and Trust of Elk City and Sayre.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. You know why people like going out to eat? It's a little treat for them. They get to leave the house and go somewhere else and have somebody else cook the food and serve it to them and clean up afterward. All you got to do is pay and leave.
I know a lady that makes it at Janice's Cafe. We go out there and eat all the time. You know why? It's not at home, and it's better than what we cook. You know, one of my favorite things to eat at Janice's Cafe? The catfish. It's good. It's got the crispy breading. Oh, it's like they made it with love, with a little bit more love on top of it.
Bacon cheeseburger.
Best bacon cheeseburger in the business. Name another one.
Mushroom and Swiss.
Best mushroom burger there is ever. Janice's Cafe can make all those burgers for. Of course, they got burgers. They got the best burgers you can have.
Do you think more people drink sweet tea or unsweet tea?
Well, you know what I am.
Half and half.
Half sweet, half unsweet. Janice is located on the south side of Elk City, where you go into the movie theater, right there next to Arby's. You'll be able to find it because there's a big old sign up there that says Janice's Cafe.
You get a cup of coffee, you walk up to the cashier to pay, and there it is, a world of possibilities right there at your fingertips. The Penny News, our free gift to you.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
Welcome back. Exploring Energy on 96.5 KECO. Jared Atha and TJ is with us. I don't know what button to push to get. There you go.
That's okay.
On the VMix. I don't know the setup entirely. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate you. We got about 5 minutes here, so let's just jump right to it. You do what for Shawn?
Weather.
You do the weather.
Weather and the stock market report.
Give it to us. Let's go.
All right. Today we have areas of fog before 11 a.m., otherwise mostly cloudy with a high around 65. South-southeast wind 7 to 9 miles per hour. Tonight we have a 20% chance of showers after 1 a.m., mostly cloudy with a low around 49. Southeast wind 6 to 13 miles per hour, becoming north after midnight. Tuesday partly sunny with then gradually becoming sunny with a high near 58. Windy with a north wind 25 to 30 miles per hour with gusts as high as 41. Wednesday, sunny with a high near 54. North-northwest wind 21 to 24 miles per hour with gusts as high as 37. Thursday, widespread frost, mainly before 8 a.m., otherwise sunny with a high near 61. Friday, areas of frost before 8 a.m., otherwise mostly sunny with a high near 63. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low around 37. Bundle up those babies when you take them trick-or-treating. Saturday, sunny with a high near 65. And Sunday, sunny with a high near 72.
You say areas of frost?
Yes, areas of frost. It's going to get kind of chilly.
Wow. Well, sorry about your flowers and tomatoes. If you got any tomatoes left. I know some people are still doing tomatoes.
They are. I've seen a bunch.
Yeah. We got one tomato plant that's given us some.
Yeah.
I'm not a
gardener.
I could do the flowers.
Yeah.
It's the vegetables that I struggle with. And next year I'm going full bore. Like I got a plan.
Really?
I got a plan.
I don't know.
I'm getting it. Because the ones that I did that were actually, I produced, they tasted great. You know,
Well, that's good.
wife chopped them up, put them,
Yeah.
we ate them. But like, all right, I'm going to do this right next time. Yeah, well, frost, great. Well, maybe kill some bugs. I don't
Yeah,
know.
hopefully.
It's not
I'm
like a
ready for that.
full-on freeze. It's just a frost, but those bugs are bugging me. What about stock market? You do that too for Shawn?
I do.
Man, what don't you do for Shawn? My goodness.
All right, American Electric Power is up 33 cents, trading at 116.31. Apache is up 8 cents, trading at 23.91. Baker Hughes is down 43 cents, trading at 46.87. ConocoPhillips is up 58 cents at 88.59. Devon Energy is up 21 cents at 33.18. EOG Resources is up 61 cents, trading at 107. Expand Energy is down 8 cents, trading at 103.69. General Electric is up $4.86, 308.73. Halliburton is up 36 cents at 26.92. Hallmark and Payne is down 1 cent at 25.65. Liberty Energy is up 76 cents at 17.15. Occidental Petroleum is up 3 cents, trading at 42.62. OG&E Energy is down a half a cent at 46.37. One Oak is up 11 cents at 68.72. Phillips 66 is up 36 cents, trading at 135.36. Sandridge Energy is up 1.5 cents at 11.80. Schlumberger is up 28 cents, trading at 36.11. And Williams Companies is up 22 cents at 57.69.
All right, let's look at WTI, 61.61, up 11 cents. Brent crude at 65.98. That's up 35 cents. Natural gas at 3.39. That is up 8 cents. All right. Does it for me.
Doesn't
Good,
look too bad.
Good job. Maybe Shawn will be back tomorrow. He's a little under the weather, but he's fine. He'll be back. Take a day, Shawn. Relax and get healthy, and we'll look forward to having you back because no one wants me doing this show. My goodness.
You did
That was
great.
struggle bus right there. Thank you to Dewey F. Bartlett Jr. coming in or being on with us. He's a reoccurring, does a great job for us and helps us out, gives us great information. Thanks to TJ over there. I'm out. Have a wonderful Monday. Here in about an hour, we have Tradio. And then at an hour after that, at noon, we have Today in Ag. And then great music throughout the day. Back roads in the afternoon. So keep it right here on KECO all Monday long. Thanks for listening. This has been Exploring Energy on 96.5 KECO.
A John Deere working the field. That's what country sounds like. 96.5 KECO, Elk City.